Greetings, brothers and sisters. Bunch to get to. I've already covered or I've already done uh, the screen grab of the Queen's corpse being paraded around Westminster Abbey, and I mean the thing's hilarious and pathetic and just out and out weird. And then King Charles is, I mean the guy's imploding already. He's got a list of crazy demands. He had another pen incident, right? The guy can't even handle a pen. I'll get into all that today. Like it's just so many things I can't even cover because I'm just like I big day on my other channel as well. Chicago getting rid of bail and all these things. And so let's start here though, because this is for Britney Spears dance post. This is by far the weirdest. It's been a while since I've cried on camera. It's not a breakdown, a-holes. Is she talking to moi? it's a re- it's a release that I've needed for a very long time now. Spiritual experience for sure. I think I need to do that way more. Psst, bawling. So she comes out here doing her dance. Okay, with your arms, just a normal dance. Swirl around, give it a thing. Look how glorious I am. I'm so glorious. Give myself a hug. Spin around. Just whip my hair. We've seen this before. Spin around, spin around. Ah, I'm so free. Grab my crotch. Say something to the camera. Cut my own throat. Reach for the sky. And then open up to the world, to the universe. Ah, I feel so good. Touch myself. Then reach out to you. There we go. Oh my God, I'm so sad. I'm so sad. Oh, no, just kidding. Spin around, spin around, spin around again. I'm so free. I'm spinning around. Look at my hair extensions. Free, free, free. Here we go. Ha, smile. Spin back the other way because I don't want to get dizzy. Here we go. Walk up to the camera with this goofy smile, pulling on my shorts. No, no, no. It's too much. No, I'm really going to cry for reals this time. I'm sobbing. I could. Oh my God, I'm so sad. Reach for the sky. Hands to your faces. Talk to the hand. Reach to you. Point the fingers. Oh my God, stop it. I'm so sad. Ew. Feel my body. Feel crying. Oh my God, I'm so sad. It's a release. It's not a breakdown. A-holes. I'm just looking at dancing and crying, dancing and crying, dancing and crying, spinning and crying, spinning and crying. It's the weirdest thing ever. And then back to the beginning. And so that was her release. Just bizarre, right? Like, this person, you're an artist, Brit. Express yourself. Feel it all. Love you so much. These are dudes, some of them. Keep smiling, angel. Hope you have a healing and peace for the rest of your life. Dance, queen. Vulnerability is the strongest act of kindness. What? That doesn't even make sense. Release all that bad energy. Yes. You have me crying. There's nothing more powerful than releasing. Release the pain, beautiful. Is this recent? Because where is your wedding ring? um, inquiring minds want to know. You got this. It's just so pathetic, the Britney fans. Happy birthday, Preston and Jaden. Love you so much. These photos are from last year! Exclamation point. Um, there are the photos. There's the one dude sticking his tongue out like mother like son. And there they are masked up. Are they twins? And do they have birthdays on the same day? We know how much you love your boys and know how much they love you back. They just need to remember that. Hearts. Lots of hearts. You gave your life for those kids, but their father brainwashed them. One day they will know how much you have done for them. It's sad. Stay strong, Brittany. Again, there's a new free Brittany now with her kids. Just other weird posts. This is classic Brittany modeling or doing her, it's just like crazy eyes. But then there's some kind of Me and Paris Hilton at my wedding. This is actually an extremely cool shot of us both. We look like pixie fairies doing a hair commercial. Or crazy biatches. Crazy entitled blonde, fake blonde biatches. Avery and Olette. By no means was I being critical of Christina's beautiful body. It is what it is. I flew to see her show once, and the main thing I noticed was the difference of people on stage. By no means did I mean to mention Christina. Look at my post. I was inspired by a show, and she is a beautiful woman of power. Thank you, Xtina, for inspiring me. To be honest, I'm not trying to be critical of anyone. What I posted is a projection of the insecurities I deal with all the time as a result of how my parents and the media have treated me. I would never intentionally body shame anyone because I know what it feels like. I struggle with this because of how I feel about myself. Not because I hate how anybody looks. I feel like my family knew I was insecure and people were trying to purposely feed into this insecurity by not letting me have a choice in the people who were on stage with me, i.e. people who are skinnier than me. Don't you get it? I appreciate all you being understanding with me as I figure out this new life I'm living. I guess she take down that post? And this is how a true queen speaks. Yes, Brittany, spread the love. Don't worry, Brittany. Your true fan knows you didn't mean any harm in this post. I'm always with you, always. I love you. We know Brittany with multiple hearts. Like she's just 171,000 likes to that. If she were me, I bet she'd be saying, wow, first year of being treated as an equal, America, home of the free. I'm so blessed, y'all. So blessed, y'all. Right-wing mommy bloggers coming in to make up conspiracies and shame Brittany in 3, 2, 1. Can we go get some ice cream, Brett? I think that's what we need. Okay, so there's plenty of trouble in Brittany land.
Morning. So for him, a moment to really
this guy, right? There's Prince Andrew and the perv. There's Harry, and this is not Harry's father. I don't know who this is. Must be the sister. And this guy's, kind of like the king, but not really. There's more bad news for this dude, right? Just it keeps on rolling in. This guy's so screwed. But let's get into what's happening here.
Reflect on the enormity of his role and the shoes he's stepping into. To remember that the symbolism of this moment is that they had their time with the Queen last night as she lay in rest in Buckingham Palace. There was a moment for the family to come together and pay their respects. And there will be another moment, of course, at the funeral and the interment at Windsor. But this is the moment where they're effectively handing over the Queen's coffin to the nation, and they get their opportunity to pay their respects.
Just put that corpse in the ground already. Like they're parading this corpse around the country. So they had the corpse in, Windsor Castle last night, the family, to be with the corpse. And just, how morbid. Like I said, when my grandfather died, I don't know when when I was talking about this, I think maybe in a Journey series video, that my grandfather died and he was, an epic person. Like he played professional football for $10 a game back in the, 20s or whenever it first started. He was a professional fireman. He went to 2 World Wars. One, he volunteered, lied about his age, went in when he was 15 to World War I. He took me to pool halls and, things that when I was 7 years old, deep sea fishing and things, as a young kid. And he was, a character, right? And he was certainly my favorite grandparent. But when I went to his funeral, I looked at him and I'm like, well, that's not him, right? Like he was just laying there. The body was laying there, but he was gone. The essence of what I thought of my grandfather was gone, which was the soul. I didn't know how to articulate it, but I could clearly see it. When you go and see a dead body, the essence that made up whatever that person was is gone. The body's just, now a corpse. It's, it's no longer life. There's no life in it. And so it's where the soul used to be. And so all this stuff, about wakes and funeral processions and all these things, it's for the living to mourn, but it's like kind of, it's wrong. Like it's out of whack, right? It's not what it's supposed to be. Because the body itself no longer represents the person. And there's this idea from the Heartfulness meditation, the Sahaj Marg teachings, that when you focus too much on the grief, you don't allow the soul to move on. Some people never let the soul, they say attached to the soul so much and they're grieving so much, the soul can't move on to where it needs to go in the spiritual realm of existence. And souls might hang around their dead bodies. There's, lost souls or whatever. So that's why cremating a body, getting rid of it, the sooner the better, because it just was where the soul used to be, right? The soul's gone. The body now is just, slab of, whatever it is, right? Lifeless slab of biological material that's breaking down and being eaten away and all the rest of it, They're going to parade this corpse around for days now, like bringing it through every country and all these people desperately wanting to see it.
Snaking for miles around London of people wanting to walk past the casket and just say thank you.
Yeah, thank that casket right now. Thank the crap out of that casket.
The imperial state crown, just as you were saying, Max, it's on top of the coffin, and really it symbolizes...
What's great is those hats. Those Marge Simpson hats. Look at this, Think about the expense, right? Maybe we should get a GoFundMe page going for the royal family. Look at the expense and all these people lined up and they're paying for this, right? All these, extraordinary processions. Ultimately she was just a human being. And now she's not even that. And so they're going to, on the taxpayers' dime, they're going to have these ridiculous rituals and, processions.
His monarchy, and the imperial state crown is what the monarch wears when he or she leaves their coronation. So the Queen wore it at the end of her coronation. She wears it for the state opening of Parliament. Versions of it go back to the 15th century, 3,000 jewels in it, and it really is her crown. Only 3 people...
It's riveting. This is unbelievably riveting. We need more of this.
...can touch it. The Queen, the Archbishop of Canterbury, and the crown jewel.
The banter alone. Or blathering on about the crown and all the ritualistic stuff that's happening.
Normally, when she's not using it, it lives at the Tower of London, so when you visit the Crown Jewels, you see it there.
Walk a little frickin' slower.
Her own
guys, come on.
crown.
You guys are going too fast. Walk really slow. Carry that corpse a little bit slower so
smaller head because she was
everybody
female.
can see it.
And that,
everyone on the street can see, hey, there's what used to be the Queen.
Throughout her life, throughout her reign, she wore it frequently. She practiced wearing it
it's
for
a
her
crown.
coronation.
They got the crown on
and
top
it's so
of it.
moving now to see it
Everyone sees the crown
as it heads down the mile. I just think seeing her on the mall, as you were saying, this is the journey she's been on for her weddings, her coronation, and for me it's so poignant to see the Queen's coffin going down the mall. It was the moment where she had her greatest moment of freedom, I think.
There's her crown right there, right? There's just,
When World War II ended, the V-Day in Europe, her father allowed her and her sister to go out and celebrate with the crowds. They stood out on the mall, shouted, "God save the King." No one recognised them. They had this incredible moment of freedom, and the Queen later said that she felt nothing but a tide of happiness and relief as she walked down.
Look at these two happy fellas, these guys.
Post-war, really reminding us what she's seen. She saw World War II, came to the throne in 1952, and here she is, the end of this incredible 70 years of reign, being celebrated by this choreographed procession, reminding us that the Queen was...
It's choreographed. Like they just didn't walk like this on their own.
Both the head of the armed forces and, of course, served herself in World War II as a trainee ambulance driver. It was always so important to her to represent the veterans and the soldiers. Such moving scenes.
Unbelievable. It's so touching. Like, tears are flowing down my face right now.
king now, official head of the armed forces. He's wearing a full day ceremonial uniform with the rank of field marshal. He's
Look at these frickin' hats. Look at this guy with his Jumanji hat, and these guys. It's so obscene. Look at all these stooges out here watching this thing, right? Let's take off of work. We got to see this crown right here, and this dead corpse march down the road.
carrying his field marshal baton that was actually presented to him by the Queen when he became field marshal back in 2012. So much symbolism here, but all of these military titles are so central to what it is to be a member of the royal family.
Yeah, they love their army. They're an army family. All of them have to serve in some sort of military capacity, in some bogus way, because they're not going to be killed in action, right?
And you'll notice that Prince Andrew isn't wearing military uniform. He's no longer a working royal. He was fired effectively by Her Majesty for his links to Epstein, and that's why today he's been stripped. He was stripped of all his honorary military
Look at him. Where is he?
titles and isn't allowed to wear military uniform on ceremonial moments. Also Princess Anne there,
He's over here. I think he's over here.
the King's sister. Now,
Look at her
she's
go.
played a
Look at her go.
surprisingly high-profile role throughout this process. She was at Balmoral, would you believe, for the last
There he is, stripped of his. He's got some medals and stuff here. They didn't let him get totally stripped down, but because of his interludes because of his interactions with Jeffrey, he been stripped of his military thing. He can't wear it. Same thing with Harry here. These guys have been defrocked. They don't get to put on these fancy, their sachets and their medals and their, all their stuff, their military garb. Harry's out of the military, and so is Prince Andrew. They've been defrocked.
24 hours of the Queen's life. We don't know who was there when the Queen died, but we know that Princess Anne was there. Most of them didn't get there in time, but Prince Charles might have done. He was in Scotland at the time. We'll probably never find out, but Princess Anne was the one who was there, we think, in the last moments of the Queen's life. A dear, dear daughter to the Queen, a shared love of countryside and horses. They were incredibly close. And
We need more trombones. There needs to be more trombones. There's not enough trombones there. Come on.
Princess Anne described it as such a privilege to be able to escort the
I mean, she's crying. It's just so sad. They're so crying. It's like my grandmother died. It's just so sad.
coffin through Scotland and down from Scotland to England into Buckingham Palace. So a deeply moving
I can't believe she's finally dead. She was so young. She was only 96.
moment for her. And I think, Kate, you were describing it as a very unusual moment here, really, to see a woman in a full ceremonial procession.
Yes, usually this is the role of the male royals. That's what we saw in Princess Diana's funeral. We normally see it's the male royals. But at this point, Princess Anne is taking this role, the Princess Royal, really reflecting the Queen's, as you say, deep bond with her, deep connection that Anne escorted the coffin all the way from Balmoral to Edinburgh, and now she is walking behind the coffin now. Her mother has such a deep respect for her, and Anne, she's been Colonel-in-Chief as well, and just looking here at the King's Troop, Royal Artillery and the Grenadier Guards, remembering that the Queen's first ever official engagement was as Colonel-in-Chief of the Grenadier Guards in 1942.
The Grenadier Guards are the best.
They've served 10 kings and 4 queens. They've been founded in
They're Marge Simpson hats and like all of it.
1656 to protect Charles II, and now they are guarding the Queen's coffin, and I just find those images so poignant. The crown going down, the crown that she will never wear again, the crown that she wore for the last time in her reign. And
Stolen jewels from Africa and India and all these other places. That crown.
And this is
Will be
her
next
final journey.
worn by the King
Will
at
be
his
next worn
coronation.
by the King at his coronation, the imperial state crown.
I should point out also every minute you're hearing a gun fired in
That's her daughter there they're talking about.
Hyde Park from the King's Troop Royal Horse Artillery as the procession moves toward the Palace of Westminster. There you just heard the bell tolling.
Look at Andrew, he's just bumming. He's been defrocked. He's the marching pedo.
From Big Ben, and there one of the minute guns firing.
Look how stiff they are. They're so ridiculous. One, two. It's like a Britney is worse than a Britney dance. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. It's been choreographed. 1, 2, 1, 2. Look at them, all these flags. I mean, it's just obscene. All right, let's move forward here a bit.
Won't sound. This is a tradition for deaths as opposed to marriages or births. And there will be a royal salute as the coffin passes as well. And you'll see various other military units gathered around there, as you will around Parliament Square as we get closer to Westminster Hall. The drums have all been draped and muffled. This is a unique thing that they do for ceremonial events, isn't it? They muffle the drum to give it a particular sound. It's
You gotta muffle those drums.
basically sackcloth, I think, isn't it?
Yes, they muffle the drum using sackcloth to give this sound, to remind us that although there is music, this is a commemoration, this is a funeral, this is a moment of sad
Look at the defrocked M&F'er right here.
reflection as well. And they're really seeing the royal family walking in this sad final walk behind their mother, really reminding us of when we saw the procession behind Princess Diana, this long procession behind the Queen.
So all three major cable news networks, CNN, Fox, and MSNBC, were covering this, right? Aside from all these channels in Britain and around the globe. Watching these ghouls march down the street in a pathetic, for a 96-year-old corpse that is, that's going to be done over and over again. They're like a number of days away from her finally going into the ground. I mean, it's going to be like, it's a corpseathon.
And the King's lifeguard about to give this salute, who once guarded Charles II before he was restored to the throne, fought in Ypres at the Somme, and really, with Elizabeth was their colonel-in-chief, reminding us.
They got the photo here. That photo's worth, I mean, it's just, how can people keep a dry eye looking at this photo?
This is her last act as Colonel-in-Chief. They are now the King's lifeguard. They were the Queen's, they're now the King's. And all the crowds here out watching this moving celebration. There we are with the, as you were saying, the royal ladies coming out of Buckingham Palace.
The ladies get to ride in these Rolls Royces.
Here, moving behind.
Queen Consort and the Princess of Wales in the front car. Would expect that they're at the top of the
Queen Consort.
Effectively.
That's Camilla. That's his Charles's dude.
The line of succession, defined by the line of succession. Whatever you say about the monarchy, as much as it wants to modernise, there is a line of succession and it can't be changed. Big Ben tolling.
Can't be changed even if you got somebody like Charles that nobody wants. There's Big Ben. Okay, let's move forward here. Finally getting into the freaking hall here. They got it. They got the corpse. Get the corpse. Be careful with that corpse, you guys. Remember, it's dead.
Party.
The crown.
6 paces.
Hey, go. Let's go.
Barra party. Prepare to turn.
Prepare to turn.
Raise.
Raise it. Prepare to raise. Raise it up there.
Barra party. Inwards. Turn.
Turn.
Barra party.
The choreography is amazing.
Prepare to turn. Turn.
It's so ridiculous. It's sad. Look at this dude. They defrocked him. He can't even wear his poopa hat. His Marge Simpson hat. Come on. Let that guy. Come on,
Barra
bro.
party. Slow. March.
Up. Slow. Go slowly. Baby steps. Take effing baby steps. There's another guy with a defrocked hat in the back.
In. Out. In.
Please drop. Bump, bump. Oh, they're playing that frickin' chorus music, that creepy chorus music. Choir music. Yeah, there's Prince Andrew coming in. He's defrocked. He's got no military. There he goes. Look at him go. Look at him go. This is like pathetic. Put that frickin' corpse in the frickin' ground. This is where I came in. I was eating my breakfast. I saw this. This is where I came in. I was like, oh my God, they're parading this corpse around the frickin' countryside. How long before they just, like, you know, drop her in the frickin' ground? Rockin' tunes. Come on, you guys, speed it up a little bit, all right? Who's this guy with the stick? Is he just gonna whack the guys with it if they fail? And what's his job? He's the holder of the stick. He's the holder of the pool cue. These guys on the side. You know, this guy's the guy who's in charge of the Freemasons in England. It's the prince's cousin. I think it's like, you know, these ghouls all look kind of the same, but pretty sure that's that dude. Oh my God, how long is it? Like a mile long, this effing church. Let's go. Come on, where are you going to just frickin' drop her somewhere and like let's get going? This is just the elite that are allowed into Westminster Abbey. Look at that guy. Look at him walk. Look at that guy in front. Look at him take his baby steps like a complete turd. He was... Here we go. Let's get it in. Bring it in, you guys. Hustle it in. Let's go. Look at this guy in front. He's not going to make it. The guy in the back is sweating. One of these guys is going to faint. It's going to happen. It's got to happen. Come on. One of them's got to drop like a fly here. This is the bishop. The guys are all holding their wands and family. Look at that bedazzled crown there with all these stolen gems from these various conquested lands. Okay, there we go. Let's drop this bitch up here. Let's drop this this dead biatch up here, and there we go. Okay, get in. All right, there we go. Let's do it. Let's get ready. You got ready, fellas? Okay, there's one. Let's do one. Don't mess up their whatever they call that. Their coat of arms. Their family crest or whatever it is. Make sure get that flag. Open it up. Right? You go. Open it up. There you go. All right, drop it all at once. Boom. Look at the choreography. Look at the timing of this. Look at the crown up there. Fucking. There's Prince Charles's dude over there. All right, get out of here. You guys are done. Put on your poopah hats. Get the F out of here. There you go. You guys did it. You rocked it. Yeah, you swing your arms like you're doing some Oprah Winfrey power walking. Yeah, you got a hoopah hat. Swing one of yours. There, get out of here, rabbit effers. All right, let's just stand here and watch. What's going on here? How long is
the deep protection? So over the next 4 days, it's a 24-hour vigil. The public will be allowed
4
to pass
days?
through.
There's 4 more days?
And this is an opportunity for the
There's
public
4
to
more
share,
days before you drop her
their
into the
moment, really,
ground. Is that what you're saying?
with
4 more days?
the Queen, but they're not all going to get a chance. Back in 1965, 320,000 people queued up to see Churchill lying in state.
It's also different units over the time that this vigil continues.
All these military guys walking around, just ridiculous.
To watch the procession go by and then get a place farther back in the queue, or
Yeah.
to stand.
Oh my God.
And a half here. Plus, the Queen's former press secretary is going to join us to break down what we have seen so far.
I need someone to explain this thing to me. There's just so much here. It's too much for me to take in. The speed of it alone. Look at this dragon up here.
And what
You got a dragon in the middle of a church?
happens next? There's much, much more of our coverage still ahead.
Look at that guy. He's been jeweled and bedazzled with medals. He's got that cool helmet on. All right, this is so sad. Not because she's dead. Like, this is just pathetic. Okay, I'm not sure where I'm going to put this, either after the Queen's, they drag the Queen's corpse around for a while. I might put it in the middle of that just to break things up. I don't know. Who knows? It's crazy. But things are falling apart for King Chuck at a much more rapid level than I would have anticipated. And so this is him having another issue with a pen. There's his first dude. His royal dude.
I just had to put, is it September 12th?
13th, sir.
Oh God, it was the wrong date.
He's been writing the wrong date. So, he's got very limited amount of jobs now. He's just signing stuff and walking around with the Queen's corpse. And he can't get the date right.
13th?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, he just said that. His mind's collapsing.
You signed the 12th earlier.
You signed the 12th earlier. That's great, right?
Oh God, I hate this.
Oh, God, I hate this. The pen won't work, and he's storming off. He can't even handle a pen crisis, right? He's having problems just with his desk area. He's had a couple of meltdowns, and, he hasn't had any real, anything to deal with yet. His poor little pen won't work, right? Look at him. Let's watch that again.
Oh God, I hate this.
No, look, it's going everywhere. Hang on. So nobody got it wrong.
He got ink all over his hands. He's got some sort of pen, and they're not providing him. Oh, look, he needs, when this happens to a normal person, you have to deal with it yourself. But she's dealing with it and all these other people around him. I can't bear this bloody thing. Every stinking time he's going on a vulgar tirade. Dude, you can't even handle a pen, and you're supposed to be the most powerful monarch in the world. And Camilla's got to go forge his name. Because he can't get the date right, and he doesn't know how to use the pen properly. Boom. Charles III won't have to pay inheritance tax on any of the things that are happening, any of the properties and wealth that's transferring over to him. A new rule introduced in 1993 by the UK government safeguards the royal family assets from being wiped out if the two monarchs were to die in a short period of time, Business Insider's reports. The Charles inherits the Duchy of Lancaster estate, which racked in $27 million in revenue for the Queen last year. The Crown estate, estimated to be worth over $34 billion in assets, will now belong to Charles. Members of the royal family do not have to pay the 40% levy on property valued at more than $377,000, while their constituents do. So people in the country who inherit more than £377,000 worth of whatever property and assets have to pay 40% in tax, whereas Charles doesn't, right? The royal family. I mean, think about that. And the government gives them like $44 million a year. And so they're on like this royal welfare on top of everything else. Here it is again. So how's that taste, people who, you royalists, how's that taste, right? King Charles' outrageous list of daily demands revealed. From pampered prince to coddling king, although he was named Britain's ruling monarch last weekend, Charles has been living like a king for his whole life. Charles was reportedly nicknamed the Pampered Prince by his staff at Clarence House, where he lived with his wife, Consort Camilla from 2003 until he recently took the throne. Details of the former Prince of Wales' lavish requests were revealed in 2015 Amazon Prime documentary, Serving the Royals Inside the Firm. Paul Burrell, who served as a butler to the Queen Elizabeth and Prince Diana, revealed the precise directions the King's staff are given to care for him, from ironing his shoelaces to putting toothpaste on his toothbrush. You gotta have someone iron your shoelaces. The former butler shared that King Charles had everything done for him. There's one more thing I forgot to cover here. I don't know if this still exists or not, but there used to be a groom of the stool. The groom of the stool, formerly styled groom of the stool, King's stool, was the most intimate of English monarch courtiers, responsible for the assisting of the king in excretion and hygiene. The groom of the stool, the prestigious king's aide who would wipe his nether end. Though the groom of the stool transported the king's portable toilet and recorded his bowel movements, the royal toilet attendant was nonetheless a coveted position. So he wiped the king's butt and checked the stool and recorded all the developments. And then, people were competing for this job. The English people were paying somebody to wipe the king's bottom and now iron his shoelaces and, put toothpaste on his toothbrush for him. And, deal with his multiple pen crises. There he is in his throne. I mean, it's just a bummer, right? This is not going his way. It's not good for him, right? He's just, look at him. All this gold and these jewels, all this stuff. And he's just not up to the task because they've been ratting him out for years, right? This is information that's been around for a while, but now it's coming back up. This is just, not even a week after she died. She's still being paraded around. What did the guy say? Another 4 days? And he's just so screwed. Like I always talk about how when somebody's screwed or, whatever, it's happened to me personally or restaurants I worked at or when marriages are falling apart or things are breaking up, there's just humor in it. It's just something funny about it, right? And there's nothing you can do to stop it. And all the, factors line up against you. And this guy, I covered this in earlier videos, but, the big thing is Diana. But he's a whiny little, he's just the way he looks and the way he's perceived, he's not liked, right? You got people who love Diana. You got people who love the Queen. And then you have people who have been wanting to get out of the monarchy and they're looking for the first chance they get, right? Countries and people. I mean, it's just, just everything's lining up against him. And the Queen was somewhat beloved and by the media and all this. And they like drama, the media is, right? And they're already setting in on this guy. And he's not, doing himself a favor. He's like Alec Baldwin, but worse. He's having little whiny issues about pens and the way that he's been memed up already a couple times, and the Queen isn't even in the frickin' ground yet. I mean, he's just so effing screwed. I mean, he's so entitled, and I mean, there's something just absolutely enjoyable about it. And I had no idea it was going to go this quickly. I thought they'd wait, and I didn't even conceive of this. I had no idea. I don't care, right? But, he's already losing his grip on the kingdom, and it's just going to be one thing after another. You can see it coming. He's not up for the task. He gets a little bit of ink on his hands, and he runs out of the room, whiny. He's a 72-year-old guy, and he can't handle a little ink crisis and not look like a complete buffoon. He's not aware of all the cameras that are on him, right? And like all the things that he's done in the past, they're coming back up. Like this documentary about him getting his shoelaces ironed was in 2015. Nobody cared about it, but now he's king. Right? When you become king, all of a sudden, all this dirt comes back up, right? And so, this is going to be great. Only spirituality will save this world. It's Paul Romano, definitely pointing from the Apocalypse and the Ascension. Everyone have a blessed day. and be grateful.